to another episode of Family Fun Force Podcast. Hi, I'm Jess,
I'm Matt.
and today we are reviewing Stardew Valley. Rated E10 for everyone 10 and up for fantasy violence, mild blood, mild language, use of alcohol and tobacco, and simulated gambling. This is available on PC and Mac, iOS, Android, PS4, PS Vita, Xbox One, and Switch. We played it on PC. This is a one player, single console, up to 4-player online multiplayer, farm/sim role playing adventure game. Rating is 88 out of 100 on Metacritic. I averaged that out between all the different consoles. Give you guys a little synopsis. Stardew Valley is an open-ended country life RPG. You've inherited your grandfather's old farm plot in Stardew Valley. Armed with hand-me-down tools and a few coins, you set out to begin your new life. Can you learn to live off the land and turn these overgrown fields into a thriving home? It won't be easy. Ever since... I don't know how to pronounce the corporation's name.
It's JoJo, right?
Because it says Joja. Is it Joja
Oh,
or
Joja.
Hoja?
I always call it Joja.
Ever since Joja.
But it might be Joja. Ho-ha.
Ever since Joja Corporation came to town, the old ways of life have all but disappeared. The community center, once the town's most vibrant hub of activity, now lies in shambles. But the valley seems full of opportunity. With a little dedication, you might just be the one to restore Stardew Valley to greatness. So, what you got for me?
Stardew Valley was developed mostly by Eric Barone, aka Concerned Ape. When they started going to the multiple consoles, he did bring on some additional people, but he is mostly credited as Concerned Ape, both his screen name and the publisher. But it's mostly the one man, plus there's like 3 or 4 other people. They haven't done much else outside of Stardew Valley. I believe they have a couple games in development now, but they haven't released anything.
Did you see the article about how he just got a new desk or something? Did you see that?
So Stardew Valley, it's a very open RPG where you act out the daily life of an idealized farmer. In doing so, you wake up in the morning, and most of the time you're going to do farm work like hoeing fields, watering plants, planting seeds, cutting down trees to make more farmland, breaking rocks. You can go fishing. There's lots of chores, lots of farm-related chores. You can eventually get animals like chickens and cows and sheep and
Pigs?
a few others. Yeah, you can get... No.
There's not pigs?
No.
Sad.
And you play out the life of the farmer. You have to manage your farm. You can go into town where there's various shops that are all run by people who live in the town who you can have social status with. You can befriend everyone in town, and you can get romantically inclined with certain people who are close to your age. I think there's like 8 romanceable individuals, evenly split, male and female. There's adventure aspects. You eventually find a sword in a cave, and you can go adventuring where you kill slimes and other monsters in a procedurally generated tunnel system. There's missions that spawn in town, like short gathering quests and stuff, but there's also unique missions that get spawned that have more to them, such as finding lost items for people that require you to accomplish certain other goals to finish. Like one of them, you have to get pants. The town mayor, because he lost them, to find the pants, you have to befriend a certain lady individual in the town enough that she'll let you in her room where you find his pants. So it's interesting. The game mechanics, like, there's a lot to do. Most of them involve talking to people or collecting items. And the farming mechanics are interesting. You can till up your farm. It's like tile plots. Everything's a square, and you do farm work on the square tiles to till it up and plant seeds and water. The fishing's fun. The fishing has like a
Well,
unique The fishing has a unique catch mechanism that's like a short little mini game that I found enjoyable. Jess hated.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I believe I've touched on it. Oh, I'm skipping out. Mild spoiler, but you'll find it eventually if you're paying attention to the game. The town's community center features like these little magical sprites that want you to finish more collection tasks for them, but in doing so it'll upgrade the world. So there's a lot of hidden areas in the world that you cannot access until you finish community member or the community center goals. So those are important, and that can unlock a huge amount of the game through the community center.
In the library.
There's also a library. We don't actually unlock anything through the library.
It's just for
but
show.
It's much like Animal Crossing's library where you just collect stuff and you can show it off. But it's not super interesting. He'll give you things for donating, but it's not nearly as important as the community center.
Did you feel like the fantasy was injected well into this game, or that it was forced in? Because it almost didn't seem like fantasy had a place in this game, and then suddenly there was a wizard and the sprites and stuff. It didn't seem to really match everything else to me. I don't know. How did you feel about that?
I feel the fantasy in Stardew Valley is not a fantasy setting we're accustomed to because it's not very popular. It's the idea that like old mysticism still exists and it's mostly obscured. It does become jarring when you meet the wizard, but he's the only individual in town who is familiar with the magic that does exist in Stardew Valley. But if you pay attention when you walk around, everything old and decrepit has magical stuff going on, and it's more easily spotted if you slow down and like if you take your time wandering places, you'll see the sprites hiding behind objects. You'll see the shrines hidden throughout the town. Did you notice any of those?
Nope.
Yep. They're everywhere. There's these little magical shrines that are everywhere. People in town will mention magic, like they'll mention that they notice magical events, but they don't fully grasp what they see. So honestly, I was fine with the fantasy. I do recall like the first time I played, I thought the wizard was way out of left field, but upon subsequent playthroughs, I think he's what like is the wake up call to be like you need to be looking out for things because there's so much hidden in this game that the game will not tell you. You need to find it.
You have it there, folks. Pay attention to stuff happening in the game. Unlike me. Okay. Did you have anything else to add to that?
No.
Alright, so I would say for adults, this is a great farm sim game with a lot to do and an underlying story that connects well with the millennial age group. It's easy to play, but there are many side missions, daily tasks, and the ability to form relationships and start a family too. So there's a lot of stuff that would be interesting to an adult to keep them entertained with this for a long period of time. For kids, this is an easy to pick up and play game also, but even better with friends. The cute graphic style and low violence makes it fairly age appropriate too. However, I would point out that there were some instances of hints at sexual content and use of alcohol, as the bar is a hub you have to visit often to interact with other townsfolk. So there may be questions your child has playing this, but most hints are via text conversations that will likely go over their heads. I mean, I already find myself punching the crap out of the button to skip conversations, so I doubt most kids are actually reading everything happening. Insert Matt's experience with Mayor's pants here.
Yeah, for me, adults will probably like it. It's a nice escape from reality. You inherit a farm, and literally everything you do on the farm is profitable, so that's always fun. Social interactions can be rewarding. I think it was 4 or 5 stars with an individual and was in for a surprise. Fishing I thought was fun. It's one of the few fishing mini games I felt was enjoyable, and a lot of times when I'm playing, I've played through this game multiple times. I've never come close to 100% in it. I know I'm missing a lot of the game, but pretty much every time I play, I spend a lot of my time fishing. Uh, For kids, if your kid needs strong reading skills, a lot of this game requires vocabulary to know what you're buying. Like there are images for most interactable things, but they still need to be able to read to say if you purchase seeds from the store, every seed will tell you in its description how long it takes to flower, what it requires, and if your kid can't read and understand that, they're not gonna be successful in the farming aspect, which is about the most profitable part of the game. Once they do have the vocabulary to understand the crop management and animal handling, everything else is pretty entertaining. The social interactions might go over their head, as Jess mentions. There's not strong sexual content, but it's implied. That said, when I was younger, I had a Game Boy Color and I had the Harvest Moons, and I had trouble reading most of it, but it never stopped me from playing, and those games are very similar to this one. Most kids would probably be able to figure it out enough to enjoy it, but they're not going to get the full experience unless they can read really well and understand what's going on. What did you like about the game, Jess?
I personally really liked the art style and music. The overall feel of the game was very inviting. I didn't have a difficult time picking it up and using the controller. It was 100% ready to go on the computer, which is great because a lot of games are not like that. Multiplayer was simple to set up and we didn't have any issues with that. I also liked character customization that you get to access right off the bat. As soon as you open the game, it's right there. Ran around my black emo skull shirt with my hair down. The animals were super cute. I loved having my own cat, even though it betrayed me. And I always loved doing gardens and games, so that was fun for me. I made a turtle shaped garden and Matt didn't get it. Disappointing. I like the underlying story of trying to get back to another time of simple life while corporations are trying to capitalize and everything. It was kind of cool to see that in the game. What did you like about it?
My favorite part to Stardew Valley is just how, like I mentioned before, there's so much that's hidden in the world, and like you're very rewarded for just going out and exploring and taking your time exploring, not just sprinting through the areas, because so much is hidden unless you you sit down and you just let an area exist with you in it, just observing. And you get that a lot fishing because you can like sit down at the edge of a river and just fish, and you'll see the world's like living and breathing around you. You'll see like the rabbits moving and the birds coming and going from trees, and certain members of the town have things they do out in the wild that you would never catch them doing unless you just happen to be there at the right time. There's a lot hidden. The farming aspect and the profit mechanics in the game are enjoyable, if not like incredibly straightforward. I also like getting to know the people. They're all the townspeople are very unique. They all have personalities. A lot of them are pretty tropey until you
Like
start getting,
Lady in a Trailer Park?
yeah,
Tropey.
until you invest time just talking to them and you realize they are more than their tropes. Again, this game rewards you spending time and just observing. So you go through and you realize, oh, this person is obviously X, until you sit and talk with them and learn about them. And then they finally open up to you and you realize maybe they're not exactly X. Or if they are X, there's a reason why they are. And stuff like that's really cool. One of my favorite characters in the game, yeah, Linus, the homeless man, and the way that they treat homelessness in this game was something I've never seen in a game before, and I thought it was a very mature approach. And it's not what you would expect from a video game that's trying to talk about people being homeless. And he's probably one of my favorite storylines, and I always make sure to be nice to.
Can I honestly say that was like the most conflicting cutscene I've ever played in a game?
And that's only his first one, Jess. Spend
Jesus.
some time getting to know Linus.
You want to feel
It's
like
deep.
crap about having a home given you for free and having to talk to a homeless person? That makes you feel like crap.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how much depth are in all of the members of the town, and they approach topics that aren't normally addressed in video games, and they do it in a very very deep and mature fashion. I enjoyed that.
since I only experienced one quote unquote seasonal event, the egg hunt, which I did like, even though you beat me twice.
You had two attempts
You
at it.
yeah. Why did we have to do it twice? We had to do it twice because Jessica threw her shirt and her hat in the trash can. I don't know how it happened, but it did.
That's on to the computer controls. It picks up joysticks very well. And
Some might say too well.
I've played through this game 3 or 4 times now, and every time I've used the keyboard and mouse, this is the first time I've used joystick, and I actually prefer the joystick.
It's nice to use. I started wired, and then I'm like, I'm gonna pop in that Xbox One wireless dongle and play wireless because this cable's not long enough. Worked like a charm. Anyways, I was asking about seasonal stuff. So we did the egg hunt. What else is there to do, seasonal
So
wise?
the egg hunt's probably the only big um, interactive seasonal
There's
event.
no Halloween thing.
No, it's not
What?
Halloween. It's more like Thanksgiving.
What? Is there Christmas?
I've never made it to Christmas.
I thought you said you beat the game.
No, I've played through the game a bunch of times. I've never beaten it though. I have a
Well, screw
problem
them for not having Halloween.
with role playing games where I am super invested for very short sprints, and then when I'm like, oh, I want to play this game again, I restart instead of loading.
Yeah, that's every gamer ever, bruh.
So I have trouble beating long games, and this is definitely a game that's in it for the long haul. Yeah, like during summer, there's a big community uh, soup thing. I might have this
Wait,
mixed up.
soup in summer? That don't seem right.
I might have missed. It's supposed to be like a crab pot, I think, which I misconstrued. But
Like what's it called? A lobster something?
yeah, I think I might have it mixed up with the fall one. I probably do. And then there's like a jellyfish viewing thing, and then there's like a farmer's market thing, and
Those all sound boring. Not to
so
attack the game, but they sound boring to me.
um, Jessica, what did you not like?
What did I not like? I mean, I'll be honest, this paragraph's smaller than the like paragraph.
Okay.
Some things that were not as enjoyable were that I never seemed to have enough time to finish anything, which this completely contests your statement of saying take your time to look around and do stuff because
Oh.
I constantly was running around trying to figure out what needed to be done. I didn't feel like I could just chill and play the game.
That's the dichotomy, isn't it? Because to be a profitable farm and to have a chance of taking on Joja, you have to invest in the farm. And sometimes watering your crops, if you have a big yield, takes all day. You don't have time to explore. So it's your job, the player, to invest your time in intelligent ways.
I did not like how quickly the time moved, and every time I was close to finishing a side quest, I had apparently run out of time. I didn't open my menu quick enough to see when stuff needed completed. It was mildly frustrating.
Yeah, she wound up blacking out right outside her house multiple times. It was kind of funny.
No, I only did it once. Only once. Don't you multiple times me. I only passed out once, because that was at the very beginning where I didn't understand the stamina bar. I understood it after I passed out once. I wasn't giving that corporation more than monies to pick my body
Oh,
up and
that's
drag
not
it
the
to my house.
corporation. That's the creepy doctor.
I thought you said it was a corporation.
No, it's a creepy doctor.
I don't. That doctor is creepy, bro.
He is. He spends the egg hunt like hiding behind a bush watching people.
Anyways, I also had the hardest time trying to figure out how to fish. I don't know why. I just could not get the hang of it.
This was. We played for probably 2 weeks, like every other day or so. And for the duration of every time we played, I had to listen to her so frustrated about the fishing. I don't understand what she didn't understand.
Okay, let me just. The first two times I did it, there was no problem. The tutorial was no problem. As soon as I was out fishing on my own, I couldn't do it. I was either pressing the button too much or not enough, and then it got to the point where I physically had you hold the controller with me to show me how to do it. And I did do it once, and then as soon as I went back to my computer to do it, it wasn't working again. And it's not just me, because I listen to podcast, not plugging here or anything, How Did This Get Played? And they mentioned that the fishing starts off kind of difficult in Stardew Valley, and it gets easier as you level up, which we haven't talked about that yet. So we should talk about that. So it's not just me, but I had a hard time with it, and it was frustrating because the only things I could catch were broken CDs, glasses, and trash.
Oh, well, I mean, you catching garbage in the water is normal.
But yeah, so I don't know if you want to talk about things you didn't like or go talk about the skill system first since we didn't touch on that.
Oh, we didn't touch on the skill. Yes, this is an RPG. You do have skills. You don't really have levels or experience points. Instead, the more you perform specific tasks, the more levels you'll gain in related fields. So you have like farming, gathering, fishing, and one other one I can't remember. Do you remember what that last one was?
Nope.
Okay, cool. And yeah, when you level up, certain you usually gain a recipe every other level. You gain recipes for crafting. There's crafting in this game. Certain tasks become easier. You might get a bonus to something or like a new skill, and then every 4 or 5 levels you unlock a specialty to where you can pick.
Oh, did we mention mining? Is mining separate from?
Mining might be that last skill, yeah.
I think it was that. 'Cause that was the first thing I leveled up was mining,
Okay.
clearing out all the rocks.
Yeah. And when you unlock specialties, they give you big bonuses a to certain tasks that were related in the field. So yeah, the RPG mechanics were pretty good. I liked them. How'd you feel about them?
It took me a bit to do, other than mining. Mining was like pretty quick, just cleaning out my plot of land. Got unlocked pretty fast, but there's certain things you have to do that require you leveling up. So you can't just ignore it. In case of the first thing you had to do is, oh, you need to make a scarecrow. Well, you don't have the recipe for scarecrow until you hit level 1 farming, so you have to farm long enough and get a crow destroying your crops and tolerate that, and then you finally hit level 1, then you can make a scarecrow and keep the crows away.
Yeah, the first several tasks are to make sure you understand the core systems, which is a little limiting, especially on multiple playthroughs. If you don't care at all about farming, you do need to get level 1 farmer to get access to additional quests. But
how could you play this game without farming though? It's like
you
farming
can.
sim.
You can
Why
fish
would you,
or adventure
I
and
guess.
get money, but you will be screwed over in the town hall because you do need the farm to finish everything.
Gotta get
there.
all those foods to lump sprite guys. Those
Yeah.
little sprite guys remind me of the sprites from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, they're a ripoff of Harvest Moon, but I won't go on about that. That's probably the most blatant, like, stealing from Harvest Moon this game does.
Did Harvest Moon take it from Legend of Zelda though?
I mean, it's both Nintendo, right?
I mean, yeah.
What else didn't you like?
That was it.
Oh, that was shorter than I thought
I
it would
told
be.
you. It's just I felt like I didn't have enough time to do anything, and I couldn't fish. That was pretty much it. Otherwise, I had really no problems playing the game.
So I didn't like... Probably adventuring was probably my least favorite thing. Because it's called adventuring in the skill tree, so that's what I'm calling it now. But it's basically just a really crappy top-down Zelda-like swing your sword at anything that moves kind of deal. And you hit rocks until one breaks and you find a ladder going down.
That's the
And
crap I like.
it's incredibly boring. It's not difficult at all. It mostly just... I hate doing it, but it's like really a good way to make money. So I wind up doing it. Probably... I don't like that you're never in danger in the game. It's really hard to get hurt enough to actually get knocked out.
No, but you can pass out.
And when you do pass out, like, you just wake up back in your home and he'll take like $100, whatever. $100 is like 2 turnips.
But if the money is the core mechanic, that could make or break you.
$100.
I wasn't making that much money, so yes.
I never felt like you could take big risks with the farm because it tells you exactly how long every crop takes to come to fruition. So you, as long as you were like reading the calendar before you bought crops, you could never not get crops before they would die.
Oh, I guess I could say I don't like that level of micromanagement in my farming. That's too much for me. I just want to plant them and harvest them, and that'd be it.
Because all your crops will die at the end of the season.
Not nice. I mean, it's realistic, but not nice.
It's not that realistic. Yeah, it's just like so long as you didn't do anything blatantly wrong, you would always make money in the end. So I found it kind of boring because, like, in real life, your farm can get messed over by bad weather, by insects, by any number of things could like throw off your profit margins in this game. It's just, nope. If you plant crops, you're gonna make a profit on them. They'll always get bought at a good price, no matter what. I don't know. I found it kind of boring.
Did you want a plague?
You know, it would have been more. It would have been interesting. I don't say anything would be more fun, but if there was some risk to your crops, like the only thing that'll
The
actively
crow?
damage your crops is a crow, and the only thing you need to defeat the crow is a scarecrow.
Well, there's only such a radius, though. They can still go after your crops if you
Yeah.
don't have
So
multiple.
you build like 50 scarecrows. They're like the least expensive thing to craft.
I'm just saying.
Other than that, I'm not a fan of Robin and Demetrius's relationship,
Oh my god.
but I'm not allowed to talk about that any further.
This boy. I
I'll
forget
adopt Sebastian.
the
He'll be
term
my
for it.
son.
He's just like heart aching for Robin. And I'm just like, I don't care about making a relationship with anybody. I'm like, hey, there's this chick. I'm gonna give her stuff. She says she hates it. Cool. I'm just gonna leave you alone.
Yeah.
Hey, you have to give people things they like. How difficult is that? I mean, come
It-
on. How do I
it-
even know you?
Literally tracks every gift you give to every person and
You know
tells
what?
you if they
I'm
like
not
it or not.
reading that stuff in the menu. I'm too busy planting my crops, watering my crops, and trying to fish.
Yeah, the watering crops, I guess. I hate watering crops. That takes
It is
all
so
day.
time consuming. And I'm really bad. I'll just keep watering the same crop over and over again.
And the worst part is like watering crops takes enough stamina that you notice. Like in real life, you can hold a watering bucket, which yeah, like a 5 gallon watering jug. It's not light. I've done it before, but like you can water a flower bed, like a 5 by 10 flower bed, with a single can of water, and it's not gonna tire you out. But in this game, a 5 by 10 section of crops might tire you out. It's kind of ridiculous, but they have to make it a game somehow, I guess.
I like how you refill the water thing by pouring into the lake.
I find that annoying because you have to run
Reverse
over to the lake.
water engineering. If you like this title, or you're looking for something similar to it, I've not played it before, but I always hear good things about Harvest Moon. Matt's already mentioned it how many times. I personally really like playing Minecraft to farm sim, or I'm sus the new Animal Crossing. So let me just say, with Minecraft, the big thing with me is I'm always like, okay, I have to get every crop and every colored wool sheep,
The only thing I remember you ever doing in Minecraft
Horse,
is collecting every color of sheep
pig,
you can.
cows.
It's
I was crazy about getting all of that. Every time I play Minecraft, that's the first thing I gotta do. I gotta make my
let's
farm.
let's build a house. Let's build a farm. Okay, Jess is gonna be collecting sheep for the next year, so I have to do everything else.
I couldn't really do that in this game because there was so much stuff I was limited to. So that was sad.
Yeah, it's actually hard to get sheep in this game. It takes a while.
I didn't even get to a point. I didn't play for long enough to get any animals. It's sad.
Oh, we had the money and the stuff to get chickens. We just didn't get to it
But
because we were doing other
Minecraft's
stuff.
so much easier than this, because it's aimed at a way lower age group. I was too distracted with the new Animal Crossing to really get into this game. I will fully
Yeah, it was
admit.
bad timing on my part.
So yeah, I would say I did not commit to this game as much as I should have. Sorry, guys. But it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy Stardew Valley. I just enjoy Animal Crossing more. But the reason I enjoyed Animal Crossing more is because it was less thinking on my part. You just do the same thing over and over again for every single thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire some shots. Animal Crossing is boring. It's repetitive. It's the same thing every single day. And this new one, they took out all of the stress from the previous games. So like, you don't even care if you miss a couple days because the animals aren't gonna care. Back in the old day, they would care.
I will fully admit that may be the case, but that is why I enjoy it because I sometimes only get to play 15 minutes of a game a day. That's it, 15 minutes. I'm lucky if I get an hour of gaming. So with Animal Crossing, it's enough for me to just pop on, get my daily miles, maybe do some digging for fossils, get the fossils assessed, turn them in, make a little money, put towards my loan, and then be done. I can't do that with Stardew Valley. I have to put more than 15 minutes of gameplay in because that's what, one day?
One day is about 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah. You get almost nothing done in one day.
Another thing I don't like, Stardew Valley only saves when you go to sleep.
That is obnoxious.
So you have to finish a full day, because if you don't finish a full day, you've wasted time that you could have been doing anything else.
I will also say if you're in the boat right now of being like, should I buy Stardew or should I buy Animal Crossing? You know, Stardew is on almost every platform. Animal Crossing is only on Switch. You know, if you play PC, you're not paying for a subscription to play online with your friends. It's up to 4 players too. It's only $15, whereas Animal Crossing is $60. So, you know, those of you out there who are like, oh, I'm just going to continue playing Stardew, because I've seen a lot of people playing Stardew right now with the lockdown and everything, that's fine. If people want to get on you about not having Animal Crossing, play Stardew, whatever. You save more money than they, and you're playing a more immersive game. Honestly, I like Animal Crossing because it's super cute and super dumbed down for me, and I don't have to stress out about it because I was a little bit stressed out about playing
Okay,
Stardew Valley.
but this isn't the Animal Crossing review. I came up with some similar titles. Obviously, Harvest Moon, pretty much the same mechanics score-wise. Every Harvest Moon's pretty different from the previous ones, so look around to find the best one for you. Otherwise, I strongly recommend, if you enjoy the profiteering and adventuring, you look at a game called Recettear. It's on Steam, and that's a game about running a shop. And it has a lot of similar features. It has like time of day and stuff, but it's not real time, so you don't have to worry about thinking things through. And you run a shop. That one has much better consequences because every day you need to make a profit, or at the end of the week you won't be able to pay rent and you'll lose your shop. And the adventuring in Recettear is actually a lot of fun because there's a lot of cool powers you can get, and the monsters are all different and unique. And you have to adventure to be able to craft items to sell in your store. And it's a really good game if you enjoy the profiteering and management more than the farming and the social.
I just remembered another game that's similar.
What was that?
Fantasy Life for the 3DS came out like 8 years ago.
Oh, I think I remember you talking about it.
I borrowed it. I actually really enjoyed it for the short period of time I borrowed it while I was working at GameStop.
So, final thoughts on Stardew Valley.
I'd recommend it. Again, it's $15. It's a pretty good time sink for $15. If you're pressed for time, don't try to sit down and play this for less than an hour. You probably want to get more than an hour of gameplay in a day.
No, that's not true. Like, you can play a single day and you won't feel like you're missing.
I wouldn't feel like I was getting much done.
That might be true. You might be right. I'd recommend it as well to people who like RPGs, like immersive RPGs that encourage you to spend time exploring,
Talking to people.
talking to people.
Giving people gifts and hooking up and having babies.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Blech.
And again, I'd be iffy about recommending this to children who aren't very good readers because so much of this game requires reading.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't say under 7.
Unless they're a really good reader.
Yeah.
And really like farms.
And in that case, they're probably going to want to play Minecraft instead. At some point, we're going to do an episode that's all about Minecraft games. Because I'm obsessed with Minecraft. I love you too.
So sign off.
Find us on Facebook via Family Fun Force. Join our group, Family Fun Force Pod Group. Find us on Twitter at
ForcePod.
And join our Discord.
From the Facebook, it's linked.
Email us at familyfunforcepod@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, recommendations. If you get a chance, rate us via iTunes or however that jazz works. I still haven't figured it out because I'm slow. Now, if you recommend a game I don't own, I can't promise we'll get to it immediately because money, but we'll put on the list. I'm not that tempted to rate mature-rated games because they're obviously typically not family appropriate, but depending on what it is, we might check it out. Board games too. Board games, if you got a board game to recommend, or a trading card game.
Yeah, games that are family related or can be played cooperatively. That's the kind of stuff we like. And we're not looking for new stuff. We're looking for good stuff. Just stuff that can be enjoyed. Or stuff that we can hate on so hard other people might enjoy it.
What are we playing next?
Well, next up, we're playing Moving Company Game.
No, that's not what it's called. Moving Out.
Moving Out. It's a game where you work for a moving company. I worked for a moving company.
It's a game.
It's almost like you chose this game because I worked at a moving company.
It's almost like I chose this game because it's made by the same group that did Overcooked, and I played the demo and one excuse to buy it.
I hope everyone's staying safe.
Stay in your house, play games. If you gotta go to work, wear that mask. Yo, it's required starting Monday in most places. Monday being relative because we're recording this and who knows when it's coming out. Bye!
So long. Thanks for all the fish.
Bye. Ever since Walmart Corporation came to town,
He also got new subwoofers, but no one's talking about that.
I want some woofs.
Okay.
That's what the kids call them, right? Woofs.
Woofs.
Bye, bye, little Sebastian.
You make me off to be like an awful game partner.
You're so mean. You're a backseat gamer. So is this where I start talking about how I like Animal Crossing more? I love you too.